can and will be held against you. The one in there,
Oh, thank you, sir.
commissioners have gotten.
How's your summer going?
It's going really well. Fast. I just told Martha I don't want to accept that this is June 23rd because that means fair's only a couple weeks away. And then I go back to work Monday after fair. So I think I'm going to take that Monday off as a recovery day.
There's one in there that is.
Yeah, I worked today and I saw Mickey. What's Mickey's last name?
Mickey Stroud.
No.
No?
Paul. Yeah.
Okay. Mickey.
Paul.
Is it about hiring president? You know it.
I'm not sure that's his last name.
Rainy day.
Okay.
His dad, the janitor out at the school board. Paul, no, Mickey Key.
Oh, okay.
His dad's name is Paul.
Oh, okay.
Mickey Key.
Well, that's not on here, is it?
I guess they said they're getting ready to get us to the fair.
Okay.
I told Chase I worked a couple of days.
Okay, it is 4:30. If you'd please stand for prayer, we'll have Tim lead us in prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance with Judge Klein.
Well, greetings. My name's Tim High. It's my name, not my condition, at least this early in the day. I came to Bedford in January to serve God and the people of God as the minister at the Presbyterian Church. I may not look like a Presbyterian minister, but I play one on Sundays. And if you're looking for a faith community where the questions are as important as the answers, I invite you to come and be a part of it. And an apology. The last time I was to be here, I stood you up. I was probably sitting down. And so I apologize for that faux pas, and I'll try not to do it again. Would you please join with me as we give thanks to God? Gracious God, we give you thanks for the gift of this day. We thank you for those who are called to public service. We thank you for the privilege of being citizens who will then respond with responsibility as to the decisions that are made, the direction that is cast, and the passion and purpose with which these things take place. So be present to and for and with and through those who listen, as they learn and as they discern. Be present with the persons who speak, as they seek to be clear and concise, hopeful and helpful. For all of this and for all of that, we give you thanks in Jesus' name. Let the people of God say,
Amen.
Judge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Well, thank you for showing up at the June 23rd council meeting. And the first thing up on the agenda is approval of minutes. I'm sure we've all read the minutes.
Move to approve.
I got a first from Dustin,
Second?
second from Janie. Any questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, minutes are done. Mandy? How's Mandy?
Mandy, will you please turn the microphone on, the button? Thank you.
Yes. Sorry it's been a while since we've been here to update you guys, but I passed around the packet and just a list of, an update of what Lawrence County Soil and Water has done in 2025 since we were here last. So, paid out $157,256.35 in cost share assistance to Lawrence County agriculture producers. We provided 113 Lawrence County landowners with technical assistance with field visits, 115 education programs completed at LCIS, Springville Academy, Mitchell, and all North Lawrence schools. 3,553 students reached. 206 soil tests submitted and technical assistance were given. We are continuing to take applications for the remaining $60,000 in 2025 Clean Water Indiana grant funds. So in your packets, this is a portion of what we gave away at our annual meeting in February. But on the first page is just photos and programs of our adult education that we held in 2025. On page 2 is SISMA. SISMA is a KIT group. It's an invasive group that the Soil and Water is in partnership with. So that's just an update of 2025. On the back side of page 2 is individual group that Lawrence County Soil and Water made up. And this is just to service Lawrence County residents. So that's our crush update for 2025. On page 3 is a Growing Together grant that we had. We partnered with Purdue. Trying to think of the gardening group. Thank you. Master Gardeners, sorry, I don't public speak. Master Gardeners. So we did that for 2 years with Purdue, and we just kind of kept on growing. And so every year we continue to grow, and we donate that to the food pantries in Lawrence County. So this is just an annual report of what we grew in 2025 and donated. On page 4 is our Clean Water Indiana grants. We can be the lead of 2 grants at a time, and then we partner on the remaining. So this is just an update of our 2023, 2024, and 2025 CWI grants. And then on page 5, Stephanie also applied for a 319 Lower Salt Creek Watershed grant. This was, I think, numbers might be in here, but $300,000 was this grant. This is just an update of what was accomplished in 2025. And then on the last page, so Lawrence County was noticed in the Growing Indiana magazine, and this is just the article I printed out just to show what they said about Lawrence County Soil and Water. So in 2026 so far, we have paid out $20,831.55 in cost share assistance to Lawrence County agriculture producers. Provided 55 Lawrence County landowners with technical assistance and field visits, 61 education programs completed at all the schools, LCIS, Springville Academy, Mitchell, and all North Lawrence schools. So far this year, 2,290 students reached. 64 soil tests so far has been submitted, and technical assistance were given. We are continuing to take applications for the remaining $60,000 of the Clean Water Indiana grant. We have also received $60,000 for a 2026 Clean Water Indiana grant, and this cost share all goes to Lawrence County producers. Stephanie's submitting another application for approximately $300,000 for another 319 grant. It's due in September. And she's also submitting another $80,000 Clean Water Indiana grant to continue our educator position. So we had that educator position for the last 3 years, hoping that the county would pick up that position eventually. But with the budget cuts and everything last year, just to keep her in the school systems, we're just going to go ahead and apply for 3 more years, and hopefully we get it. But that's just a little update. We have been busy, haven't been able to get in here, but we want to let you know what we've been up to and what our plans are. Any questions?
Awesome. I was looking at that one page on your CWIs. That has really went up from 50,000 to 125. Somebody's busy.
Yeah, we are really busy. That's kind of why we hired the educator position 3 years ago, because Stephanie's a grant writer. And the more money we bring in, the more money goes out, the more work we have to do. So we have, like I said last year during budget time, Lawrence County is the #1 in the state of Indiana for Clean Water Indiana grants. That's a pretty big deal. And she's just keeps getting more.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Any questions? Any questions? Thank you. Okay, Leslie. How's Leslie?
Hi, I'm doing okay. How are you all doing?
Good.
Awesome. Well, I'm here today because I am pleased to get to introduce a new face to you all that you will see more often and maybe mine a little bit less. So with the Extension Transportation, a new position that was created is the Regional Operations Lead. And so here Lawrence County is going to be served by Audie, and she is amazing. I can't say enough about how excited I am about this change. So she is going to be starting to take some of the County Extension Director responsibilities off my plate, and she'll be handling them. And so I can let her tell you a little bit more about herself. She's been with Extension for several years now, and like I said, I'm thrilled about this.
Good evening, Councilman. My name is Audie, like Leslie said, and I am the Regional Operations Leader overseeing Lawrence County. I was actually an educator in Monroe, so I'm familiar with Extension and all the different work, all the great work that they do. And like Leslie said, I'll also be taking over, so presenting budgets and in more communication with you all. So if you have any questions about Extension, I will be your point of contact. So I'm happy to work with Leslie and her team. They do a lot of great work here in Lawrence County, so I'm happy to be of assistance.
Nice
Thank
to meet
you.
you.
Nice to meet you too.
That
Thank
will
you.
help you a bunch at fair time.
I just all the time.
All the time.
Yes, I'll get to focus on 4-H more, and that's the reason I was hired and what my passion is. So, yeah.
Yes.
Do you all have any questions for us right now that we can answer?
I do. You probably just said it and I missed it. Why are we bringing in another person, and is Purdue doing this?
Yeah, so Audie is actually for the region, Purdue Extension is currently undergoing a transformation to a more regional model in some things. And so one of those is the County Extension Director responsibilities. Audie's actually going to be handling 4 counties, is that correct? So she'll be taking those responsibilities for 4. That way I can give more time to the 4-H program.
So that title is no longer yours.
County Extension Director, come October, it will not be mine, no. We're doing a very slow, deliberate transition so that we can hand off things properly and so that our communities don't see any interference, and we can do this as intentionally as we possibly can. So yeah, but yeah, come budget season and everything like that, you'll get to see Audie, and I'll be here. We're working together. I know a lot of you all from a lot of years that we've gotten to work together, so I'm helping her so that we can smooth that transition as much as possible.
Yeah, so like Leslie said, so I'm hoping to take over more of her role so she can focus on continuing to grow the youth program here in Lawrence. So I'll be doing more of that so she can focus more on 4-H. And that's the purpose of my role in different counties, so that educators can focus more on serving the community, and we take off some of that administrative work so they're able to focus and dedicate more time to their communities.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Thank you so
'Cause
much.
I know what you go through at fair time. Exactly.
Yeah.
Tis the season, yes.
What other counties are you with besides Lawrence?
In addition to Lawrence, I oversee Monroe, Brown, and Morgan County. It's all in the area.
Awesome. Any questions?
Will you send me her contact information so I have it on file?
Yes, I believe it was in the email that I CC'd her on, but I'll get that sent over. Yep.
Thank you.
No further questions? Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you all.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
Thank
Good
you.
to meet you.
Thank you.
Okay, Paula Edwards. Good evening. How's
I'm-
Paula?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I'm here to ask to have a transfer approved. I'm transferring $544.94 from one grant to another grant because it was actually pulled out of the wrong grant. These are legacy grants that we actually gave up getting once we took the Health First Indiana funding. And so this actually will close out one of the grants, and we still have some money that we're using for equipment and other things left in the other grant.
Awesome. Any questions for Paula?
Make a motion to approve this transfer.
Okay, I got a first from Amy,
Second.
Second from Phil. Any further questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Done.
Thank you.
Okay, Chad.
Good evening. Community Corrections recently completed our DOC audit for 2025, and in that audit, we found that when we switched grant accounts from 1194 to 9207, we left grant money in 1194 that needs to be transferred to 9207 to close out that grant cycle. The $413.11 needs to be transferred from 1194 to 9207.
Okay, so this is a transfer of $413.11.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions for Chad? You hear a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
I heard Janie first, Larry second, I think.
That works.
Okay, any further questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passed.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chad. Okay, Jeff Litton. This brings back memories. Not the way it's set up, but it brings back memories.
Well, this is a bit different. I think I can do this side of the room. I'm here on behalf of the airport to request 2 transfers. We're suffering from an aging facility. I personally can empathize with that. And I've had a tremendous amount of expenses in relating to old buildings and old equipment. The first transfer is $5,500 from the hangar improvement fund to the line item in the airport fund, building and equipment maintenance.
Okay, I want to do these separate, of course.
You
We'll do
what?
these separate, this one and then the next one.
Your pleasure.
Okay. And that's a transfer of $5,500.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For hangar improvement fund. Any questions for Jeff? Entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Dustin, Larry. Any further questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Jeff, that one is passed.
Second request is for $3,000 coming out of the aviation fuel fund and going into the line item fuel tank maintenance to pay for a new motor. That happened, so that's $3,000 for this.
Any questions for Jeff on this one? Entertain a motion. Julie made it first. Phil made a second. Any further questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Jeff.
I had contemplated a department report, but you've got quite an agenda tonight, and Judge Klein wants to bale hay before supper, so I'm going to make it real short. Not to be outdone by Tim Sled, who always presents in Technicolor. I have color of my own. This is an impact study that I had done in 2022, so it is 4 years old, but on the second page at the bottom is the important thing that hasn't changed much. It's the impact that the airport has on the Lawrence County economic situation in terms of jobs, contributing to the hiring. Got some statistics there. On the front of the page, we have grown some in terms of number of aircraft, so that's somewhat outdated. But I commissioned this through the Indiana Department of Transportation. It is quite an expensive study, so probably won't happen again for a while.
You just redid the lighting out there too, didn't you?
Yeah, we've had three grants. We had a taxiway installed, which reduced the threat of runway incursions. And now we just finished up the lighting for that taxiway. So a lot going on.
Awesome.
Are the plows ready to go for winter?
We are making we are submitting a grant application next week for a new snowplow. I've got about 3 miles more surface to remove snow from than I did last year with the advent of this taxiway, so that's an important piece of equipment that we're gonna have. But that's an FAA grant.
Because I know you had a little trouble with it last year.
Like I say, all of the equipment is aging. That tractor that we're using, we got in 2007. So it's got some age on it.
Any questions for Jeff?
I just want to ask what that one thing on the back page is that is in red and says no.
I gave all my sheets out.
Ceiling minimums?
Ceiling minimum.
What does that mean?
Ceiling minimum?
350 feet.
You said the second page?
The back page,
The back?
the one line that said, has red letter no on it. Everything else is yes with the green check mark.
Okay, that is just for a instrument approach. We do not have the equipment to support the instrument
Okay.
approach.
You told me that before.
Okay.
Instruments can't land there, right?
I'm sorry?
Instruments can't land there, or they just don't?
There are different categories of instrument landing, so some can, but not all.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions for Jeff? Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff, have a good one. Judge Klein, if you want to bale hay, we'll get you up next. If you don't, we're going to move you to Baldwin. Okay.
Yes.
We will give you that option.
That sounds like
And I got a barn too.
Not paying someone to build, building. All right, I'm requesting a transfer from office supplies to equipment. And I'd be lying if I told you I was 100% sure, but I believe this is for the recording system. Because I've seen, we have these things now called neck loops, and I think that's what part of what this is for, but if you put me under oath, I don't know that I could tell you.
He just has a negative in that line he needs to cover.
Yes, that's it.
There we go. Okay. Balance of 15.4. Okay. Any questions for Judge Klein? This is transfer of $1,508.54, correct?
Yes, sir.
Move to approve.
Janie made a first on that.
Second.
Phil made a second. Any further questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Judge.
Thank you.
Well, hey.
Yep, have a good night.
Thank you.
Hit the hay.
Penny Cobb.
So she's not here, but can I present hers?
Yes.
Okay, so she's requesting an additional, out of county general for line 39400 in the amount of $1249.92. What this is was, this one was for her tax bills and printing, and there just was not enough money in the line. We thought we had enough to cover it with rate increases. We did not. So she has a negative in that line of $1249.92, and we just need to get it put in there and taken care of.
Okay, so that's for $1,249.92.
Yes.
Any questions for Martha on this one? Okay, entertain a motion on this one.
I'll make a motion.
Larry made a first.
Second.
Julie made a second. Any further questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Martha, that one is done.
Okay, on her next one, this is on her MVP tax system, and it's for $1,443.50. There again, we budgeted $25,000. The bill came in at $26,443.50, and it would just bring the line to zero.
Okay, so that one is for $1,443.50, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is support that is provided
This is
as
what-
needed?
No, this is for our tax software system. So she and I split the cost.
Okay.
And so I was able to transfer some money around out of my budget to cover my negatives, but she does not have that option.
Is this on a contract?
It is on a contract basis, but we did get the contract amount in time to know the exact amount. But we tried to anticipate what they were gonna charge us.
Any further questions? Okay, entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Okay, Dustin made a first.
Second.
Amy made a second. Any further questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Martha, that one's passed. Okay, Brian Souter.
Good evening.
How's Brian?
I'm great. It's been a good day. All right, I got some additionals. Which one do you want to start with? Which one you got on top?
Safety, training, and equipment.
Oh, yeah. So the superintendent ordered too much safety equipment, so I have to pull some money up to cover that. I've been reprimanded by my bookkeeper. Don't worry, it will not happen again. So I'm asking to pull up $919.30 to cover what we ordered for safety gear.
And this is coming out of?
All MVH.
All MVH. Okay. Any questions for Brian on this one?
I move for approval on your promise you won't do it again.
Oh, I won't. It's been covered.
I've never seen that line yet.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Okay.
Second.
I've got a first from Dustin, a second from Janie. Any further questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Brian, that one is good.
What's your next one?
I have new equipment.
New equipment. This is to pull up the funds to cover the truck that was totaled during winter operations that rolled over. So we can go ahead with the purchase process of that truck. And it's $285,928.56.
And this is on
I've got,
Cume Bridge.
This is on Cume Bridge because it's a Cume Bridge truck.
okay, I've got 285.
That's $285,928.56.
56, yes, that's what I've got. Okay. Anybody got questions for Brian on this one? Entertain a motion on this one.
Move to approve.
Janie made it first.
Second.
Larry made a second. Any further questions or comments?
What fund is this coming from?
Cume Bridge.
Cume Bridge, okay.
Any further questions?
How much do we get for insurance on that? Do you know?
This is like 75,000 or something like that we got for that. It wasn't much. We were able to buy it back so we can use the parts because for us, the transmission is worth the $7,500 we had to spend to buy it back. So.
Total was like 85.
Yeah, total, because they separated the salt equipment and everything all from, so it was like 85 total. So what we're trying to do is get the insurance company to come out and do like replacement cost values instead of, this is just what you're getting for a truck when it totals. So we're working that angle, see if we can maybe do better. Hopefully we don't flip another one over. That's the real goal.
Hopefully we don't get another.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got first. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. You got a question?
Brian, do you go out for your own insurance?
No, we are part of the, so ours is with the county insurance. It's the new one we got. Bliss McKnight, and it's Big Co covers part of it, and there's a subsidiary insurance that covers like the equipment, like the snowplow and the salter. So I was dealing with like 3 different insurance companies. It's a good time.
Thanks.
Any further questions? Okay, I've got a first and second on that. No further questions. All in favor of the motions, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Brian, that one's good. The next one I've got is 150,000.
This is 150,000. There's 2 of them just alike for 150,000 coming out of motor vehicle highway funds, and this is just additionals we bring up every year about this time and distribute through the districts for additional road work, whatever they need after we get done with paving and chip and sealing. Or maybe pave some more, chip and seal more, we'll see.
Okay, that one that I've got is, the first one up is Fund 1176 is the first 4.
Yep.
That's the motor vehicle highway fund. And
That's
then
the-
other one is on his restricted.
Is the
fund.
restricted.
Okay.
So we have two budgets, restricted and unrestricted.
I want to take the 1176 first.
All right.
Any questions? Comments? Okay, entertain a motion on this one.
Motion to approve.
Okay, Janie made a first.
Second.
Dustin made a second. Any further questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Brian, the first one is done.
The second one's the same thing, distribute through districts, or the different line.
Yeah, it's just a different fund number. First 4 is 1173
Correct.
and the same amount. Okay. Entertain a motion on this one.
So moved.
Dustin made it first.
Second.
Larry made a second. Any further questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Brian, that is it. For that one.
The last thing I got is a hire request.
Yeah.
One of our truck drivers from District 2 moved to another place to work. He said for better pay and better benefits, so just trying to get him replaced.
This is just filling a spot, correct?
It's filling a spot we already had,
That's
no new position.
Any questions for Brian? I'll entertain a motion on this one, on the hire request for District 2.
So moved.
Phil made it first.
Second.
Larry made a second. Any further questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Brian, that's great.
And that's all I have. Any questions you guys might have?
And that's all you have.
All righty.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
You guys have a great night.
Okay. Madam Auditor.
I'm going to stay seated, for obvious reasons. I need to, do an additional out of rainy day to pay the Baker Tilly invoices for the different, services that they have provided for the 2025 financials, 2026 financials, the budget of, and, with this amount, it should pay any other, incidental invoices that they have. So this is just, it's out of rainy day.
And that one is for 50,000, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Did we not budget enough
We,
in it?
we did not come back for the additionals after the first round of it, so this is to complete that. And I think that this amount will cover everything that we should have outstanding with them until you sign any new campaigns with them.
Okay. Any questions for Martha on this one? And this,
How much, you said it was for 2 years?
It covers 2 years, comprehensive financial plans, I'll tell you. So it covers the 2025 financial plan, the 2026 financial plan, local income tax analysis, and any other budget and support services that were done on an hourly basis.
So how much for 25 and how much for 26?
So we have, for 25, 5,447.75. For 26, we have 10,224.20. And, for the budget and other is 24,591.65.
okay, budget and other.
It just, that makes sense.
Okay, well, I was gonna ask other than, unless
Well,
that was your
it's
question.
like any time that they have phone calls, they do, in-person, not in-person, but the Zoom meetings that we do with them, where we do the catch-ups and things like that.
In their contract, they say blah, blah amount not to exceed.
Right, right. And they have not exceeded any of their contracts because we pulled all contracts to make sure.
So they're still within the contract?
We're still within contracts, yes.
We need $50,000 to, that just blows my, I thought the contract was just 35.
Well,
But it's 2
there's
years.
more than one.
Okay, 2 years.
Yeah, there's more than one contract that we've entered into with them.
Any more questions for Martha? Okay, I'll entertain a motion on this one.
Move to approve.
Okay, Dustin made it first.
Second.
Amy seconded. Any further questions or comments to Martha on this one? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Martha, you got that, right? Okay. Okay, and then that is, I've got one in here. Are you doing the other one too,
Yes,
the commissioners?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. They have in their software support budget, they have a negative amount of $3,373, and this is for the Lao Financial Software. Once
What was that?
again, their invoices
Wow.
were a little
Wow.
higher than what we anticipated, and so it left a negative. So we just need to clean this up as we are getting ready to go into budget season and get your budget books made up and everything. We're trying to make sure we have no negatives in any funds.
And that's for $3,373, correct?
Yes,
And that cleans it up?
that cleans it up and zeroes the line out.
Okay, very good. Okay, any more questions?
Is that coming from,
Yeah, where's it coming?
where's that coming from, Martha?
It's an additional out of county general, because that's the only place the commissioners have a budget is in county general.
Any more questions for Martha?
And this again is because they didn't get their contracts to us in time to
Right,
actually know.
I do have Lau's contract now for this year, so I will know the exact
Okay.
amount of their contract. And I'm
Good.
working on the same thing with MVP,
Good,
so that
thank
we
you.
have all those contracts and we have those amounts up front.
Thank you.
Okay, any
I'm
more?
assuming we have the money.
Huh?
I'm assuming we have the money.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, any more questions for Martha? Okay, hearing none, on motion.
So moved.
Janie?
I'll second.
Larry, second. Any further questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Martha, that one is done. So you got that one. Okay. We got, that one will be further down the list. Let's go to, the CF ones. Indiana limestone, Larry Hensley. That one get copied in.
Evening.
Evening.
Well, if you recall, last year, talking about all the, we had all the capital expenditures we were doing last year. So the great news, we completed all of those and everything's operational. And what did that do for us and our property values? So we increased our fixed assets $3.4 million last year. $2 million of that was a new gang saw at our Empire facility. $1 million of that was in the building for this gang saw. It's actually 2 gang saws that we're doing. We run them in tandem. It really has helped us as we've centralized all the operations there. We've also added 2 new block handlers, 2 loaders, 2 new excavators last year. We are doing something new. We started leasing new equipment. So in the past, our idea in the past was buy used equipment. We decided we're going to start leasing new equipment. I will say it's more fuel efficient, less maintenance costs. Our operators love running these machines. From that standpoint, our plan is we're leasing them for 5 years, and then we're going to purchase them after that, so we get a few of them. And so those alone, those 6 devices were right about another $4 million. But again, that's the value of those from that standpoint. Employee headcount, we finished at 212 employees, and I kind of talk about this each year where we finish. November, December, we slide down and then we pick back up. We're currently at 233 employees. Honestly, we could be at 250, 260 easily. So if anyone knows anyone that wants to work, we hire every week. We have people going through training every Monday. From that standpoint, you guys all know it's tough work from that standpoint. But that's going to be our investment last year. We're going to be in the same numbers again this year. The leasing is kind of proving its worth. Cost of fuel, we all know what the cost of fuel is costing us personally. How would you like to buy 10,000 gallons of diesel every month? It's really hurting us from that standpoint. But yeah, that's what we're planning on doing. We're just going to keep every year, keep leasing with a plan. In 5 years, we'll be able to purchase. In the course of 5 years, we will replace all of our equipment. Is kind of our game plan. So.
You're a major employer.
Thank you. We try to do right. I also, maybe you guys know this or not, but we celebrated 100 years on April 17th this year. We have our annual company picnic.
No fanfare?
Yeah, no, it's still, I'm not on the planning committee.
Year's not over yet.
I was pushing to do it in April, but they were all worried about the weather and so forth. It's sometime in July is what I can say. We have our company picnic this Thursday that we celebrate. We get a picnic, all the employees get together, we celebrate, they get the day off work, so everyone's happy, so.
And you got 233 current employees now?
233 as of this morning, so.
Okay.
and ready to hire more.
We hire every Monday. Every Monday we hire someone, and they start Monday by going and watching the videos and making sure that MSHA trained. And I kind of use the common sense. Hey, those rocks are bigger than what you are. The trucks are bigger than you are, right? I mean, it's common sense, but we make them sit through all the videos and go through that. I will say, I'll put a plug in this. We also, earlier this year at our Empire plant, celebrated a year with no accidents, and which is amazing from that standpoint. So no accidents, no close calls, anything. And for us, safety is a huge deal. We overly stress that. We have safety meetings every week, every shift with every department, and we go through things. So some big plugs. I know I keep saying this. We ship products everywhere. We are shipping 38 blocks. We got half of them shipped to Italy right now. Hopefully you get the other one. Yeah, this will kind of, well, your guys' mind or not. So there's a big project going in Washington, D.C., so that's using Indiana limestone from us. It goes to Italy to get carved and get done, and it comes back to go to Washington, D.C. We also have blocks that are going on the Utah State Capitol. Same thing. We ship them to Italy. Italy does their magic and ships them back to Utah.
Do we do any carving here?
Not for those size projects. Almost all of our other customers are around here. Our biggest customer base is around here. But those big projects, I guess they want to trust the. I don't pay the freight bill. I just arrange it from that standpoint. But yeah, I will say the blocks that are being in the White House, they've been a challenge. They wanted larger blocks than what we normally do, so they've had to get special exceptions to truck them. Each block was 55 to 56,000 pounds.
Is that for the big, beautiful ballroom?
Maybe. Yes, maybe. That's kind of a quick update. What questions do you guys have? I mean,
I always love hearing what you're doing out there. Limestone's our foundation, very dear to me.
We keep very busy, which is good, right? Business has been good. So I maybe said last year Canada affected us a little bit. The economy is not as strong up there and so forth, but we're overcoming that. So
awesome. Any further questions?
Do you happen to know what year you are in your abatement? I don't have a copy of your CF1 in front of me.
I do, actually. So the abatement was completed in 2019. And we did not last year ask for additional abatement on the investment last year. Point blank, plain and simple, when we were making the decision earlier in the year before of what we wanted to do, and we're trying to figure out if we're going to buy used, buy new, we're kind of going back and forth. And our CEO at the time is like, basically move, write the contract, get the POs issued. Because each one of these pieces of equipment, just so you guys know, it takes anywhere from 8 to 12 months once we place an order. Your face, it blows my mind that we have to wait that long to get it. And he said, move, we signed the POs. I'm like, we're too late. We should have done abatements. We should have done some of this stuff. He basically said, I don't care, get it going. So we didn't.
Thank you.
So how many years you got left on the abatement? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
So it's 2019.
So you got about
a few more years.
Yeah.
Yeah. From that
Thanks.
aspect of it, so.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Any further questions? Okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Okay. PRD and D&M, correct? I assume you're doing both as usual?
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'll start with D&M, if that's all right. We have 4 abatements on D&M tool. First one is 2014-11. That was for a 12,000 square foot addition to the PRD building. D&M actually owns all the buildings up there, so this was an addition to the PRD building. This was about a $1.7 million project. Although it's a 2014 abatement, it took a while to get everything done, so I believe this is the last year for this abatement. If you have any questions on any of them, let me know, or do you want me to just go through all of them? And
Just go ahead and go.
Okay.
You guys got any questions on this one? Okay, just go ahead and go through.
The second abatement is 2016-07. This was an 18,000 square foot addition to the PRD building. It was about a $1.75 million project. This one, I believe, next year is the last year on this one. The third one is 2016-09. This was actually for a rotor, 2-spindle, 5-axle machine for D&M and a boring machine, and the installation, and it was about a $900,000 project. This one, next year will be the last year for the abatement on it. And then the final one for D&M is 2016-10. This was for a vibration controlled room for a new rotor machine, and it was a $100,000 project. And I believe here, we've got 2 more years on this abatement. That is all of the abatements for D&M. They currently have 21 employees, salaries of almost a little under $1.4 million. And if we include retirement, health insurance, and all the other benefits, their payroll impact to Lawrence County is a little over $1.5 million. So if you have any questions on D&M, that's all I've got on them. Then on, excuse me, on PRD, we have 3 abatements. The first one is 2016-08, which was for 8 injection molding machines and the associated hoppers and dryers and everything that go with those. That was a $1.175 million project, and this is the last year for that abatement. The second abatement for PRD is 2017-12. This was for 14 new injection molding machines and associated equipment. This was about a $750,000 project, and it has 4 more years on this abatement. And then the final one for PRD is 2019-04, and this was for an injection molding machines and equipment, and this was about a $1.3 million project, and it's got 5 more years on this abatement. PRD's current employment total is 133. Actual salaries are a little over 5.6 million. By the time we add health insurance, which is a huge expense for that many employees, and retirement and everything, we're at about $6.25 million of total impact of salaries.
Did you say 133 employees?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that 2016-08, that drops off this year? This is the last year for that? The first one you did?
Yes.
All that building, they're limited in growth up there, really.
They are.
Have they about hit their limit?
Yes. The last addition that they did, when we went off the backside, they had to put so much fill in there that there was a concern with the engineers about settling on it. They packed it pretty well, and that was done in 2018, I believe. I could be wrong on that. It doesn't seem to have been a problem.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, but at this point, about the only option for expansion would be between the 2 buildings, to combine the 2 buildings. And that's not really a lot of space. So
awesome.
Because
Thank you.
Any further questions on credit? Very good. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for what you've done for them. They really do appreciate. Mark Murphy, the president's gonna be here today. He had something come up he had to handle, so he couldn't be here, but they do appreciate everything you've done.
You did a
for them.
good job, as always.
Thank you.
Okay, Jackson County RMC, Alex Williams.
Good evening, everyone.
How's Alex?
Good. How about you guys?
Good.
So we'll start off. Jackson County since 2018 has invested $6,130,000 for about 250 miles of fiber plant out in the Shawswick, Pleasant Run, and area for your guys' service territory. We have 2,366 electric members, and we are at 1,555 fiber broadband members, so almost a 66% take rate have taken our internet service that we offer it to, and everyone does have the option to take it. So,
Wow.
it's really bad.
How much longer you got left on this abatement? Do you know?
The what?
The abatement?
I think it was in 18 is when
18.
we started.
Any questions for Alex?
How many years was it?
I believe it was a 10. I would.
But it's 10 years. Yeah,
10
years.
years. Yeah, 10 years. That's what I was thinking, because I remember that from last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We've kind of slowed down on the construction process. We've got everything built out, so now the only people that are calling in are new homes going up and somebody buying a house that didn't have service at that location. So,
Good. Any further questions for Alex? Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Okay, Orange County, Matt?
Matt does this to me every year. I'm Charlie.
I didn't think you were Matt, but I was just gonna agenda it.
Yeah. Out
Charlie,
there.
what is your last name?
Rollins. Rollins.
Thank you.
Yeah. Orange County, we've placed over 500,000 feet of fiber. Three different townships: Bono, Marion, Spice Valley. We've been working on that since 2018. We have done some recent expansion in the Bryanttsville area, Spice Valley Road, WPA Road, Rabbitsville Road, kind of working on some other areas there. We're gonna actually build a mainline fiber through the town of Mitchell, connect back to our network. We've got those abatements till, I think, 2029. And they were from 2018.
Did you say how many miles you have?
So it's over 500,000 feet. I don't know what the mileage is. Yeah.
I can't calculate.
Quick math, right?
I'll just put down 500,000 feet.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out later.
Yeah. That's just to see if I had it broke down in mileage. I know recently we added about 150,000 feet in 2025, probably since I was here last. That was Bryanttsville, Rabbitsville, some businesses in the town of Mitchell, Mitchell schools, fire department, town hall, water department. Yeah.
Did you go
Just
in
kinda
where there
build-
had been no service before?
We've built mostly where there's no service, but we've been asked to serve others that had service before, so we pretty much don't say no. Matt could answer that.
Okay. Any further you guys got any questions for him? Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've got baseball practice, so I'm gonna.
See you. Thank
Thank
you. Okay, and that ended the CF1s. Then we'll move on to items for consideration, which is employees' additional stipend. And I know we talked about this last year when we did this last year at budget time, and we were gonna wait till, actually it was June, July, which they're right on time with the supplemental lit. And the supplemental lit is in. There's enough there. What we did last time was 500 for full-time, 250 for part-time, correct?
Yes.
500. And what that will total up, if I remember right, is 120? Right at 120,000, which that can come out of the supplemental lid there. And I guess I'm trying to see what we can vote on this tonight if you guys are in agreement on doing this stipend. There was one request from the auditor that on the effective date, if we do this, you wanted to hold till,
Well, because we have to get in additionals for you all to approve to put the money back on the books for the stipend to be paid. So we would have to do the additionals at your next council meeting, and then we can get it on the July 31st paycheck.
okay. So the money, I mean,
And that's actually advantageous for the employees because that's a 3 paycheck month, and on that 3rd paycheck, the only thing that comes out are taxes, no insurance, nothing like that.
okay.
Just the taxes.
But that would be just like before. Now, the only difference before was, and I don't know, memory serves me, the commissioners and the council did not take it before.
Correct.
Is that figured in on this time with the commission?
I figured it in on all employees.
Okay, being the commissioners are not here to accept or deny, then does the council want to consider council and commissioners this time, or?
No raise here.
Pardon me?
No raise for us.
No raise for us? Okay, then let's hold like we did last time, which would be no council and no commissioners. And go.
They should have been here if they wanted it.
I gotta be careful. 500 on the full-time, 250 on the part-time,
Yes,
correct?
that's what we did last time.
That's what we did last time. And this would be effective, like I say, we would have to do an additional in the next
At your
meeting.
next meeting, I would have all the
But then they would
additionals.
pay out in the end of July, the
Yes.
last check in July.
Yes.
Okay. And whatever you guys,
Do we need to take action tonight, or this might be Ted's question?
You can take action tonight, subject to the advertisement of the.
yeah, it's on there. I got it on there.
So if it were to pay in July, you would have to take action tonight. We need
Yes.
to have time to get the additionals out and advertised, and then get them on the budgets so that they can be paid out.
I make a motion to, do stipend.
Okay, so I got a motion from Janie, second from Phil, and that is on the 500 full-time employees, 250 for the part-time. No council, no commissioners.
Correct.
I got a first and second. Any further questions on this? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Martha, we need to put that on the agenda for the next one,
It'll be there,
for the,
and the
Okay.
additionals right there with us.
and the additionals right there with it. And then, like I say, that would be payable at the end, the last check in July.
Right, we would get it on. There's a lot of stuff that my office has to do, but we will get it on for their last paycheck in July.
And that's out of the supplementary lid.
Out of the supplemental, yes.
Okay. Okay, got that?
And I will send an email out to all office holders tomorrow on what I need from them.
Okay. On the full and part-time?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so that's taken care of. And then we'll go to department reports, Sam Arp, which there is actually an additional and a higher request on that.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
We'll start off with some really good news. Just got the letter on June 5th. If you guys recall, the last couple of years I've been telling you how the government keeps trying to hack away at this Victim Advocate grant that we've got going on that pays for our Victim Advocate. And this year they announced that there was going to be a minimum of a 30% cut across the state. So I started off by working really hard on writing this grant. Then I spent a couple of $1,000 out of forfeiture money to hire a grant expert. Reviewed what they wrote. I didn't like it, so I was still winding up writing my own grant. And just got a letter saying that not only did we get 100% approval, but they went ahead and approved a raise for year 1 and year 2 because that position hadn't had a raise in the last 8 years because we've not put in for it. So that's the first attachment that I got you from the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute. So that's equivalent to, I believe it's around $43,000, $44,000 a year to pay for a position within the office. So pretty pleased for that. Next thing that I wanted to bring to your attention was the kind of a progress report as I view it on how am I doing as a prosecutor. The uniform crime report, all the local law enforcement agencies file a report through that mechanism or through another mechanism that reports to the Uniform Crime Reporting Unit through the FBI. And what I've done is I printed you off a chart here that goes from 2003 to year current. So you'll see the big spikes there, and then you'll see when I took office, and it's basically flatlined. And I've listed in that document what's all reported. It's violent crimes, which would include homicide, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, arson, burglary, theft with crimes against person, theft of a motor vehicle, and then all your sexual reporting crimes. This doesn't take into consideration crimes like drugs, just because there are so many different variations on how that can be reported. But what I've done is I've linked the website here at the bottom where you guys can pull that information up. And then this paragraph down here at the bottom also tells you how the reports are put together, and it's basically a progress report on our law enforcement system and our justice system as a whole down here of how we're doing. And I mean, I think that's pretty doggone impressive if you guys look at the chart on that.
One question on that, Sam. That's got on the reporting agency, that's got Bedford Police, Lawrence County Sheriff, Mitchell Police, but nothing on Oolitic.
Yeah, so Oolitic doesn't report.
They do not.
I don't know if it's because they're like a marshal service or if there's just like one person there. Sometimes I don't even know if we've got anybody over right now. I'm not seeing a report from
I
anybody.
think you got one, don't you, John? Yeah, you got one.
But yeah, and it's my understanding that the reporting, and I could be wrong on this, I don't know this to be a fact, it's just what I was always told as a police officer. The reason that kind of like our speed limits when they're 55 or 55, because if it's not 55, we don't get highway grant money. It's kind of a motivation like that. Well, I think that if you don't fill out the UCC, then some of your funding through like overtime projects and stuff like that might be taken away from you. I don't know that to be true, but that's just what I was always told as a police officer. So, but I looked up specifically Oolitic, and they don't show up. They don't have an ORI number. Possibly it's linked in with the sheriff's department. Sheriff, do you know if that is not? So there's no originating number that they use through NCIC and all that good stuff. So it's not on there, but if it was, it's still, I don't believe it would change a whole lot. I mean, there were a lot of drug arrests over there for a period of time, but a lot of that's just, I think they've got everything under control with whatever they're doing. It seems to be working. So I don't see it burning down over there. So they've got it figured out.
Sam, one more question about the chart on, I believe that's the x-axis, but it's been a while since I've been in a math class.
If I was any good at that, I'd be a medical doctor. So if you're going to quiz me on that, I'm going to fail.
No, but the numbers are like 1, 20, and 40. Are those that number, like that represents 1, or is that 1,000?
I'd have to go back and look. There was a lot of information on that because what you have to do on that, when you go to that site, if you it starts off state, and then you got to narrow it down by the county, and then you go in and when you get your county report, you got to pick out every agency, and those are the only agencies that I could pick out that were local. And now that would also exclude any kind of cases that the state police have investigated with violent crime, which there's some, but predominantly not. I mean, Bedford and the Sheriff's Department are going to be people that handle a majority of those calls just by the nature of the beast with how we work as a community. But like I said, you can get on that website. It's down there at the footnote, and you can play around with it and say, I misled you, or I didn't do a good enough job reporting one of the two. But generally, I think it speaks volumes. So that's thought it was a pretty good indicator of how we're doing. And then,
Sam, I have a question. What do you think has attributed to that specifically?
I mean, in my own in my own mind, I mean, law enforcement's a huge part of that. And then, you know, I think having a prosecutor that said that I'm going to hold people accountable, and we're holding people accountable. I mean, I think if you get a hug when you do something wrong, or if you get smacked in the head and go to prison, I think that's going to change your behavior. And I like to think that I'm not hugging everybody that we deal with. We do give out a few hugs, but those are few and far between.
Are the numbers, I guess, the numbers that you actually try, those are where does that compare than in previous years?
How we try,
Yeah,
how many
or
cases
how
we
many-
try?
yes.
I tried to do a research on that. The problem that we would run into on that is that the data that we utilize, not this report, but the trial data, for example, would be kept in the prosecutor case management system. And when I come to office, there were literally file folders everywhere. There was no computer in our office that I found that had any kind of that information on it. So it's easy for me to go and pull a report up to what we've done since we've been here. But if I go back in time, I don't even know how I would do that. Are we the most triedest people? I don't think that would be a fair thing to say. I mean, I try to be pretty reasonable and still offer plea deals, because there's an advantage for that. If we go to trial, then I lose my ability to object to modifications. I'm not saying this happens here, but it definitely happened in Vanderburgh County when I was over there. You would see a crime occur that was all over the news, and oh, it was horrible. And they'd go in and the judge would give them a real heavy sentence. What they don't tell you is a year later they come in when they were able to modify that, and the judge will quietly modify them out where they're not still in prison. So when you go to a jury trial, or if you do what's called an open plea, which we don't normally do in our office, I have a strict policy. We don't do that unless it goes through me, and I can probably count on one hand, to my knowledge, how many of those we've done. If you have a closed plea or a fixed plea, the only person that can modify that's me, and I'm not going to renegotiate with myself. Whereas if it's an open plea, that's equivalent to going to a jury trial, and then a year from now, they can come in and request a modification, and then the judge can be like, okay, nobody's mad anymore. We'll go out and, let them out of prison 10 years earlier, or what have you. I'm a little bit of a control freak when it comes to that. Does that answer the question? Okay. Try not to be a rambling politician up here on you.
Specific formula or recipe you were using somehow?
Yeah. So we would like to do more trials. The problem with trials is that they really bog the system down. I think it would probably be a fair assertion in my mind, whether it's true or not, that 98 to 99% of the cases nationwide are going to be pled out. And if you think about it here, for example, we've got 2 criminal judges, and we've got circuit. With their judges, they don't traditionally handle criminal cases. So your average trial is going to be at the minimum 3 days. Realistically, an average trial is probably 5 days. If you get into a complex trial, 2 or 3 weeks, and that whole court shuts down for that. My workload still compiles while I'm doing a trial, and then have to come back and play catch up with that, and then the same way with the judge on that as well. So our system's not really set up to come in and do all these elaborate trials. I find ourselves pulling out our really good cases, and then we usually go to trial in the cases that are really iffy, and we kind of, for the lack of a better expression, down the cross for the cases that would probably, don't have a great shot at winning. And when you get into your victim cases, it's not about winning or losing, it's about whether or not the victim gets hurt. And a lot of the child molest cases, for example, when they get a little bit older and there's a delayed reporting on it, it's important for us that sometimes you just have a trial just so they can tell their side of the story and go on and get that healing from it, whereas if we just don't do anything. I often tell people, if you look for a prosecutor that's got a 100% win trial rate, you got the worst prosecutor I've ever met, because they're only trying cases that they decide that they're going to try. And Tim Sled often says that the prosecutor can decide whether to try something or not, and he's right. If I don't want to try a case, I can make it go away. But we definitely try the cases that we have to, but not always on the ones that are easy and that we should. We give a plenty of easy ones up, but, you know, I think things are going well, our crime rate's down, and I think the way that we're going about things is working. People are working more in the community. 2 years ago, I got up here and I said, I don't know how to quantify this, but our income tax rate ought to be going up through the roof because of the amount of people that I'm putting back to work with the programs I've got in place. And the next month, we were in a meeting, and the State Board of Accounts lady was up here and said, hey, for some reason, you guys have collected $400,000 more of income tax than you ever have before. So I can't tell you that I did that, but I kind of like to take credit for it after I said that. So, you know, there's different ways to go about and do things, but I definitely don't think we're the most tryingest people. And it would be hard, too, because myself and my chief deputy are probably the most experienced in that area, or we are the most experienced in that area. And I don't feel like I'm a hotshot trial attorney by any means, but when you have deputy prosecutors that as soon as we get them trained, they go and go someplace else and make more money, we never have anybody that we can trust to take trials on. And once again, if I'm filing all the charges, reviewing all the cases, and doing all this other stuff, and then I'm also having a lot of trials, then the office is going to shut down and it's not going to run itself. So until we get in a situation where we can afford to have a senior trial deputy that we can hire on and pay a little bit more money and have that person say, hey, you're our guy to go to on trials, you know, then we can maybe start seeing a little bit more trials. But we're in a little bit of a survival mode when it comes to that. We'll definitely go to trial, but we also try to be reasonable and avoid a trial if at all possible.
I was talking to Judge Klein before the meeting started. What about the DOC hold?
I mean, that's a sheriff question on that.
Is there no way to speed them up? I know Greg can't, but.
No, there was a statute, and I'm pretty sure it got changed because of Bob Klein, but there used to be a statute where you can do an order, and I think like within 5 days they're supposed to pick it up. It's just not the way it works. I mean, you've got the law, you've got practicality, and I mean, I think the good thing is that once we get that certification, it's been $37.50 ever since I was a rookie police officer 26 years ago. I don't know that it's changed, has it, Sheriff? Is it like $40 now? All right, so you know, strategically as a prosecutor, not so much now, but the last several years, when we had the level 6 debacle that went on, I always wanted to make sure that we got a DOC sentence, because even though they were going to serve it off around here, there was going to be a holding pattern here. At least the county general fund would get reimbursed at $37.50 a day, and so it's the best thing that we can do on that. And I mean, I think one time when I was talking to Sheriff Brandon, there was like $500,000 that was collected from that on top of whatever amount they were getting on that. So it's a thing that works. It's this big picture approach to where, how can I release the burden to the taxpayer, the community? How can I take the burden off of the county government? And, you know, we try to do that. So there's all kinds of thoughts that go into our decision instead of just coming in and being a bull in a china shop and knocking everything over.
Any questions for Sam on that part? Okay, I have none.
And then this was the chance I was going to brag on myself. I told you guys about this last go around. This was an award I got from the United States Attorney General. I attached the press release. We hadn't quite gotten the award, I believe, the last meeting that was here, but I went and picked that up afterwards. And the press release that has been published for about a month now explains the details of how that award came back. And that's those are the crimes that take the most time in our office and are more victim-centered. And I'll tell you, we are lacking as far as experienced prosecutors, as far as it would be nice to have somebody that is all they focus on, and the intricacies of that particular set of laws, and people that can deal with that type of victim mentality. Even if you have a person in that position, the burnout rate is just amazing in that. If you can imagine, the only cases you deal with are child molestings or rapes and so on. It's really rough on you. And unfortunately, we have a lot of that going on in the community. And I mean, how do you stop that, right? I mean, it's more of a mental health issue, I think, than it is being scared of going to prison. I don't think that always helps. But this was a case that had a handful of victims that we were able to flesh out, and Trooper White started off on that. The Sheriff's Department went out and assisted, and both departments worked really well, and we did a lot of search warrants on it. And ultimately, when we started going through it, we agreed. I was a little reluctant, but we agreed to hand it over to the feds, and then he wound up getting a 50-year sentence on that in federal prison versus going to state prison.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And, you know, it's got my name on it, but like I said, it's got Trooper White, it's got Sheriff Day and his crew, it's got my deputies on it. I did some of the heavy lifting in the office at first, and then once I got everything filed, we pushed it over to that section, because I really don't enjoy being around those cases. I much prefer to go after the drugs and murders and stuff like that. So, but, so that's an update with that. The last thing I was giving you guys handout wise was, this is just some of the print offs that I have printed off today before coming into this meeting of current job application or current job openings for prosecutor's office throughout the state. Now, back in 2019, when I first took office, the pay was atrocious. It was $39,500 that this county was paying for deputy prosecutors in 2019, which to me was just repugnant as all get out. And I was able to work with the existing council, and we got the pay up to $60,000. Back then, you know, $52,000 to $65,000 was kind of like the base point. People were in the 80s. It was a more marketable trend. Now, $95,000 to $105,000 is the entry point for a deputy prosecutor. And we've got some people that are paying $130,000, $140,000, which is right up there with what my chief deputy makes. I had a position that I offered that we talked about last month to a gentleman. Told him I could only pay him $80,000. He was all on board. And by the time he got home, he got another job offer for $99,000, and he wound up taking that. While he was making that decision, my deputy prosecutor I've just spent the last 2 years with, training, and he's just now getting up and running on his own 2 feet, doing an excellent job. A job opening come up next door to him that paid another $15,000 a year. And the funny thing about that is they used my study that I gave the council 4 years ago to come up with the amount of money that they were paying deputy prosecutors. So it kind of stung me a little bit that I did all that work. But thank goodness, bad for him. Thankful for me, it didn't work out for him, so he's still with us. But we're getting these openings. We're going to continue to have these openings. Every prosecutor in the state is like this. It's not necessarily that I'm a bad manager of people by any means, but you come out of law school, we get you trained up, and you're worth so much more money with a year or two of experience, depending on how many trials or suppression hearings and so on and so forth that you've done. And the only people that are left over are the people we really don't want, the guys that are lifers with prosecutors. There's a handful of them that are great. That's what they want to do. They're called for community service, and they don't want to be in politics, and they're happy being a deputy prosecutor. But for the most part, you either got people that are starting off, or you got people that have so many personality defects and such a horrible work ethic that being, I don't want to speak on behalf of the public defender, but it's a public service job. You know, the prosecutor's job, hey, I'll just go in there and I'll do the bare minimum. I'll get my insurance. I'll get 16 holidays a year. And that's where we're at. And I've tried to stay away from those people, but I'm at the point where if you're dumb enough to come and work for me, you got the job, right? If you got the initials behind your names, and that is really a disservice to the community, and it's a disservice to, I'm tired. I've been on for 8 years. I've taken 1 week off last year for the very first time, and that was to catch up on farm work at my home. And I'm supposed to be taking like 6 weeks off a year of vacation. I'm getting a little crazy in the head here. I need a break. So it would be nice to know that I can leave the office and that there's going to be experienced people to be able to handle that. And I've just not got to that point yet. And so, you know, I don't want to be over dramatic, but I do think we're at a crisis point with what we're able to pay our deputy prosecutors. And obviously, Tim might say the same thing about public defenders. I don't know why he wouldn't. Where we get up to the point where we've got to be somewhat more competitive. And for a while at 80,000, we were competitive. We're not even in the parking lot anymore. And for us to be able to find somebody, how many lawyers do you think are in Lawrence County? Not enough to fill up both the prosecutor's office and the public defender's office. And if there were, not enough to have criminal defense attorneys and will attorneys and such like that. So we have to go outside of the Lawrence County boundaries to find these people. And why would you come and work here in Bedford, Indiana, if you're not from here? I mean, we got a Walmart, we're getting a Wawa, whatever that is. I mean, I hear it's a good place, but
Hey, we have more to offer than Wawa.
yeah. But for $80,000 a year versus somebody's going to, you know, I lost a deputy that was making $80,000 to $120,000 a year, and she just went 2 counties over. So there's just such a huge price difference, and you know, if you're raising a family and you got $300,000 for the student loan debt, that $20,000 is going to make a big difference. So You know, whether it be coming up with, you know, a way for the pay or some kind of benefits package that maybe helps pay back school loans, something, I don't know, but you know, I'm gonna be coming to you on bended knee, like, we gotta figure something out here, because we're at the point where we're gonna be tapping out, filling out attorneys to get in these positions. Thankfully, I had a guy that hopped right in out of circumstances for this position that I was telling you about, where I had the attorney leave. The former Martin County Sheriff that did 2 terms went to law school in Montana, which sounds really awesome. I didn't realize I could go to law school in cool places like that. So he went out there, and he's been a prosecutor for 1.5 years on a reservation. And his wife and daughter are moving back here for a job that she's taking, and just so happens, right time, you know, it's like, hey, I want to come back. And, you know, obviously I'd want to have a political career back in Martin County in the near future, whether it be prosecutor, judge, or whatever. But you know, I'd probably get a good few years in learning her yet, and that's going to be a great fit for us. And it's not that I could pay him the money that he can make anywhere else. It's just that just so happens he wants to work for me, and he wants to learn from the way we've done things. He was a police officer, I was a police officer, so he thinks that he's going to be able to share a collective knowledge of what somebody has been through that he's going to go through. So that's going to work out great, and that's one of the things that I believe is on our list tonight, is that go ahead and get permission to hire him. It's still going to be about 30 days out before we get to that point, because he's got to give a 30-day notice over with his current employer.
Okay, I've got an additional before you get to that.
Okay, yes, the additional is for the $400 on the Axon program. There was the original amount, and we were shy of $400. It's still coming out of an account that doesn't come out of taxpayer money. So it was just something that I think the way it was advertised needed to be $400 more. So I would ask for approval on that.
And that's coming out of infraction deferral?
Is it infraction or pretrial? I can't remember. Infraction deferral.
Okay, okay. All right, and that is for $400, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That's to go with the 9,000 he got last month.
Yeah.
Out of the same fund.
Okay. All right. Motion. All right, I got a first from Jamie.
I'll second.
Second from Larry. Any further questions or comments on this one? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Sam, that one's good. And now I've got the hire request.
Yeah, so the hiring request would be for Mr. Roush that I just spoke with you about. He's still, I believe he would have just given his 30 days notice that he's required to by his contract. They do yearly contracts out there where he's at. It would have been either this Monday or last Monday. I'll have to check with him. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be end of July, beginning of August before that happens. And that will leave a little bit of surplus in our line item. And after we talk about this, I'll talk about what I plan on doing with that.
Okay, so this one is going to be a full-time position replacing
Yes.
the one that's gone?
Yeah, so there won't be any differences in the budget as far as increases or anything like that.
Okay, and that's within the salary ordinance, the 80?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
When did this position open up?
Last week of May.
Are you talking about Kristen?
Yeah.
I think her last day was May 12th.
Well, there was a advertising glitch last time, because Sam come in last time, but we couldn't hear it because it was not advertised. Okay. Any questions for Sam on this one? Okay, I'll entertain a motion on this one.
So moved.
Dustin made a first.
Second.
Bill made a second. Any further questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Sam, hire request is good.
And then finally, last time I talked to you about Jeff Tieman's nephew from Tieman Tire, Bryce Tieman. He's graduated from Louisiana, LSU, Louisiana State University, I guess. And it's the same place the other guy that I got working for me went, and just amazed by the type of law student that they put out there, because the Arthur that works for me has done an exceptional job, and his only experience was going from law school to straight over here, and I really just enjoy everything about him. I think he's a great prosecutor. You know, I'm going to try to keep him in every way that I can. And so Bryce Tiemann has graduated in May. He's taken the bar in July. He's 23 years old, so he completed law school in 5 years, and the normal track's 7 years. So it tells you he's doing pretty good with that. The same day I offered him a position that was going to be replacing Justin Grant, as we've talked about, taking over juveniles and moving into some of the other court. He's like, can you do any better on the pay? And I was like, oh, here we go. And he sent me a letter from Todd Rokita, and Todd Rokita offered him $99,000 to take his position because he did turn there 2 different summers. And I was like, but I can't do any better than what I can max you out at. And so he's like, all right, yeah, I still want to stay in Lawrence County. So thankfully on that, you know, he's still going to come in. So he's going to come in under this new law that he's going to be a certified intern. While he's awaiting passage of the bar, he can still practice law and supervise. So basically, he's going to be a deputy prosecutor without having his JD until he passes the bar, gets sworn in. So you're probably looking at, I would think, September-ish, maybe. I don't think it would be October. I took the earlier or the other bars, so I was a different time of year. But there is going to be, according to Jenny Brown when I asked her this morning, $9,000 between the last deputy and this new deputy roughly taking place. So the only thing I could think of to offer him, I'm like, hey, you're going to need some training on how to do juveniles. So while we're transitioning Justin out and you in, I want Justin training you, and I'd like to use that $9,000 as for however we'll work it out an hourly rate, and whether he uses that all up or not, to get his training in on that before he starts. And then in the worst case scenario, if he doesn't pass the bar, then we move on to a different plan, but I don't foresee anything from this individual having any of those kind of issues.
Because once you see that coming, you'll have to come back and do the second hire request.
Okay, so I know a few years back we had a line budget for the interns for like 10 grand, but it just worked out. We were so busy, we never used it, so I cut out of the budget to one budget year. So if I want to use the 9,000 for like an intern type status that we currently have, what do I need to do to make that happen?
That would be on which line are you taking it out of?
It would be the.
So are you taking out of your deputy's line?
Yeah. Yes.
So what we could do is move the 9,000 out of your deputy's line, put it in that intern line. Even though it's not showing in your budget, we can do an additional.
Okay.
Or a transfer rather, to move that out of that deputy's line into an intern line to cover the cost of the intern.
Great, outstanding.
Now the intern line is still there, right?
It is there, even though it has no appropriation to it.
It's just sleeping.
It's there. It'll just be
Because
transferred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
Okay.
All
It
right.
can be done, but like I say, when you see that coming on
The hire on the intern.
on the intern,
Okay, because the intern, so I guess I just need to go ahead and advertise it because we're thinking the second week of August is when he would start as an
So you can
intern.
come next month and just send the hire request
Okay.
to Cheryl so she can put it on the agenda and copy me, and we'll get it to you on the agenda for next month for the hire request.
You guys get to see me every month. You're just like my company. All right, thanks, everybody.
okay, thank you. Okay, then we have Sheriff, if he's still awake. Greg? How's Greg?
I'm good. You?
Good.
I need to go to law school to learn to talk longer like these guys.
No, please don't.
We got one more.
No, really, what I had on the agenda to begin with on a hiring request, I called Martha yesterday, don't need that. He rescinded his 2 weeks notice and decided to stay, so that was good. So I don't have that, so really, I'll give you the jail numbers, and unless you have anything for me, I don't have anything. Had 71 total in the jail, 59 males, 12 females, holding 14 for DOC, have 1 parole hold, and then 0 level 6 felons that were sentenced locally. So that's all I have, if you don't have anything for me.
Good job.
Good job.
Good job.
Thank you. Okay.
Let's see if Tim can beat the record.
Chief Public Defender, Tim Sled.
On the minimum side, right?
Yeah, minimum time.
Minimum.
Minimum time?
Here, I can pass it down, Tim. Everybody got one?
Need one more. Send mine down. You got one
Yep.
more? And Julie, sure, you know.
No, but I've got plenty. Good evening, council.
Good evening.
I did have a longer presentation. There's enough heckling going on in the room about how my graphs look. Thanks, Jeff.
Jeff.
And, Sheriff Day wants to learn how to talk longer. Come on. But I do. I'll make this relatively short. We're at the end of 4 years that I've been the chief public defender in Lawrence County, and when I came, standing in this room with Jeff and Rick and Janie and
Julie.
I know Julie and Julie. It was a hot room with a lot of skepticism on whether the Public Defender's Agency needed to be or whether we should go to a full contract system. And I asked for a year to show what we could do with different management and if I could prove the value to you. And we've now gone through 4 years, so I have some good data to show you. The graph here, as you know, we went through a reorganization. The first year of 2022, we were over budget. There had been some pretty sizable budget cuts that occurred, and the expenses because of contract services were out of hand. Contract services at that point were $90 an hour. This year they go up to $120 an hour. They presently are $110. So getting out of a contract services model and into an internalized staff model was something that I felt would be a wise economic decision for the county. It was a gamble. It was because, as Sam said, you have to then keep your employees. You can't be training up the employees. You can't be spending other expenses on employees. You have to really work on managing your employees to keep them. And so that's been a goal that I've had in the background that I don't often come and talk about. But when I was building my team in 2022 and 2023, I was looking for people that were dedicated to the cause, that were of high character, that were going to be good leaders. And I've just been blessed with the team that I've got because I haven't had any attrition in that time from my full-time attorney staff. With different increases that happened, whether they be raises that were given out at the county or an adjustment to sort of to kind of moderate what was happening, you'll see that my budget went up for a couple years, and then I was able to start constraining it, and my budget went down. The top line you see there is the total adopted appropriation. The second line is what the actual expenses were for the agency. So immediately after my first year, I started coming in under budget every year. That was one of the things that I was told is don't come back in for additionals. I was told that, and I haven't. And don't go over budget if you can help it, right? And then I started constraining my budget. But the bottom two lines are the lines that I think are really important for you to look at because these are the lines that really impact the taxpayers. So the third line from the top, I think it's purple, but I'm colorblind. I'm reading that it's purple. Okay. That is the actual cost to the county of the agency. And then the line below that is the reimbursement numbers. And you'll notice that the reimbursement number line is going up and the cost to the county line is staying steady. And if anybody can tell you that their cost to the county is staying steady with inflation, that means they're cutting into their soft budget, their operating expenses, and because those things are going up, which is what I've had to do. But this was I want to be brief. This is just a picture of the 4 years and how this plan worked. If you were using a contract model, you would have seen a lot of variation. Some years you would have been paying a lot of people at $120 an hour, or right now it's $110. And we've been able to keep it steady, predictable, not have to come in for additionals, not have to cause the stress on the council trying to figure out, well, where is this money? How much is out there? You know, I remember discussing Janie quite a bit when I would talk about the rabbit inside of a snake. Yeah, we don't know what's left. Now we do. I mean, those days are past. We know what our costs are and what our fixed expenses are. We continue to seek reimbursements and increase the reimbursements. That reimbursement number will be higher next year, despite costs being roughly the same, because that misdemeanor project that we got into, we only received 1/4 last year. We're tracking for $100,000 in 2026 reimbursed to the county general fund for misdemeanors, so that number will go up, which will actually decrease. It'll then decrease the cost to the county. So those numbers, while they will never merge, we want them to get as close as possible. My goal is to always keep my orange line under my blue line, and to cause that blue line to come down as much as possible. But there is a break-even point. When I was doing this assessment and this analysis, the system that I was using to read the data threw up a lot of caution flags and says, this isn't sustainable because your training fund is too low. You got to get your training line higher. But for right now, we're operating. But I'm proud of what the agency's done in 4 years with handling cases without having to farm many cases out. For the longest time, I didn't have any contract services. I love to come in and show a big goose egg or maybe a 1. You know, those numbers have gone up, but we never have had more than 5 or 6 contract services out at a time. When I came, I forget how many were out there, but it was a lot. And we had to whittle those down because they were just a variable cost that you didn't know, and it was a higher per unit price, effective hourly rate for those than it is for having them in-house in the agency. I have to echo some of the things that Sam says as reality. I'm looking at what it costs to replace people. I always have to have my eye on it. I don't want any of my people to go. I mean, I do everything I can to keep them happy, to check in on them, to monitor their workload, caseload, job satisfaction. Sam's right. Most of my people can go make triple in private practice what they make inside my office. Now, they can make a little more at almost every public defender agency around. That wasn't always the case. Lawrence County was very competitive in 2022 when I came. Now Monroe County beats us, Greene County beats us, Jackson County beats us. I'm fortunate. My people are geographically located where they want to be. They're working on a team that they're happy with. But when Sam says we are coming in under, my experience is that that's true. The 100 to 105, 110 range is very normal for a deputy public defender these days, just as it is for the deputy prosecutors. Just something to have your finger on the pulse, that's accurate. That's my experience too. But there's something to be said about the environment that my folks are working in and the team that we have and how we support each other, and I'm really proud of them. I mean, we have a hard job. Like Sam says, his office doesn't try every case, thank God. That would be a waste of county resources, a waste of time. There's a reason. He gave a statistic. He said somewhere around 98% of cases don't go to trial. He's actually right. It's 2 to 10% do go to trial. The rest either resolved by way of plea agreement or dismissal, or an informal adjustment such as a pretrial diversion. So it's very wise to have that sort of system, and the public doesn't always understand that. If every case went to trial, you wouldn't have a system. You would have a jail that was backlogged under federal mandate, or you'd have courts that just weren't processing through. Victims would go without any justice for the longest periods of time. You can look at places that have that problem. Lawrence County doesn't. Sam and his deputies do we're adversarial. I'll call it a fair job of offering negotiated settlements, but there is an attempt to try to get cases resolved. Some cases have to go to trial, and they just have to. And we try to do a good job in my office of working with our clients to understand the strengths and the weaknesses of their case, whether trial is advantageous to them or not. But that's one of the decisions they get to make, is whether they plea or go to trial. And I'm just proud of my team, and we work hard together to try to field those. We team up so that nobody's alone on trials. That's just for confidence building. And when I came on, competency, professionalism, and efficiency were my 3-point mantra. I said that in 2022. It's what I still say in all of my office meetings that we're looking for. I got everybody up to competency within a year, compared to reports that I received on some of my predecessors. Professionalism has been something that I've worked hard on within my agency, and efficiency. You can tell that by the budget. We're doing everything we can to decrease costs where we can, be effective with the money that we use. And a lot of that comes down to keeping morale high and me trying to keep morale high. So I'm happy to hear about the stipend. I really hope that at some point the situation turns around where cost of living adjustments can be considered by a council for county employees, because this is hard work for the community that the county employees do, and times are tough for everybody too, and they come to work every day and work very hard, and as you all know, all the prices haven't gone down, but we also understand, and I try to let everybody in my office understand that we're in a situation where we're trying to identify what sort of an economic crisis we're actually in, and a lot of question marks out there. I do believe that there's light on the other side of whatever tunnel of SB1 put us in, but we'll get there. But
I assume you got the budget letter today, correct?
I did. I don't think I'm supposed to mention it out loud though, so I'm not going to.
You got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
There's 3 things you missed on the three reimbursements. 2 of those 3 go back to the general fund.
That's
correct?
true. 2 misdemeanor reimbursement, and then the
Chins?
Chins doesn't.
Yeah,
Chin's the only one that
not.
doesn't, and
Chin's
Chins is
the only one
small.
that does not.
Correct.
I was trying to remember that last total from that meeting. It's 3.
So I came prepared with the number of reimbursements. So in 2022, the county only received $385,000 in reimbursement. In 2023, we moved that up to $411,723 in reimbursement. In 2024, we moved it, this is all county general at this point, $427,533.18. And in 2025, we received $438,866.83. That $438,866.83 includes the roughly 21 that we got from misdemeanor reimbursement, but does not include the Chins, because the Chins goes into a non-reverting fund. All my other funds, fee-generated funds, go into the county general, so the 40% reimbursement from the state and misdemeanor reimbursement go directly into county.
Because Chins can only be used for Chins.
It can only be used for Chins and Chins adjacent services, yeah.
That's one thing, and then the other thing, and I don't know whether you guys are aware or not, we was in the meeting the other day, that your contract just got renewed. 4 more?
Yep, my board, it was 4 more.
4 more.
Yep.
He's in for 4 more.
What?
He does 4 years. His contract's for 4 years. And his board voted on that the other day and renewed his contract.
So, as long as Greg keeps running for sheriff, he's got to listen to me talk. So, I didn't come with any requests or needs for motions, but if there's any questions, willing to
Any
answer.
questions for Tim? Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then, Martha, I have no court orders. Is there court orders?
Right there's your blue folder.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Didn't lay it here off this time.
Okay, I have court orders, there's nothing here to vote on this. And that total on the court orders, just for information, $16,132.50 is what I've got on the grand total. There's no vote taken on this, like, it's just what it says, it's a court order. Okay, and then the last and final thing is, which, on this list, you're still waiting on Thornburg?
Yeah,
Correct.
for the benefit of the rest of the council, I've communicated with Mark and with Rick. Just to bring it back to where we are, since we do not have our existing lit ordinance, we tried looking at reconstructing what the rates were for all the entities that receive calculate that because it's affected by other things other than the rate. So, and I got a hold of the state budget director and a colleague for any help, suggestions she had, and she said there's no way to figure what your original rates were. So I contacted Rick Hall from Barton Thornburg because their firm is working for the commissioners on a bond issue, I think, for the Shell building, to refinance that. And I also conferred with Dave Smith. And I'm going to get a hold of Rick because I have no way to draft an ordinance or resolution to redo the lit the way we want to do it because I don't have the existing information. So I talked to Rick last week. He said, we'll help you. I think what we're going to need to do is to re-adopt lit. And I don't know how they're going to approach getting those rates done, but we need to know what those rates are for each of the distributees. And if we're not going to do a rate for solid waste management district, then that's fine. But we still have to have the rates for the others. So Rick's given me the letter that you want to send out. My only comment on it after looking at it is I don't think we have to have more than one hearing.
I thought it was 2 hearings 10 days apart.
Pardon me?
I thought it was 10 days apart.
Well,
I think you can combine, I'm basing this off of what we went through last time.
okay.
And I don't know whether
The
you guys.
publication of notice, if it's a hearing, is once 10 days before.
Yeah.
So as far as the notification of the units, that's by, and I've been advised by the state and Baker Tilly that can be sent to the units electronically. We can do it by email, but we've got envelopes ready to send them, so we can do that. So I am waiting for, and I've been checking my email in case I got something for Rick, because he's supposed to be getting back to me, and I hope to have something to present for you tonight, but I don't have. So if you want to set dates, you can, but realize that we've got to have the information that gets distributed to them before, because we have to be able to tell them what we'll propose, and not just set the meetings and say we're going to change it. So.
Well, I've been waiting on them because we just come back from AIC conference, and up there, which I talked to Botteriff and was it Jamie? Jamie. And they have the roadmap for doing this. So far, I've not been able to get back in touch with them.
Okay.
I called them the whole 9 yards, but there was one thing that agreed on, and that's what I talked to you about earlier, is going ahead and sending this letter of intent out.
Yeah.
And actually, I pulled up the one from last year with when we did Shawswick. And there's nothing really on this, in my opinion, which I showed that to you too, that changes on this, and there is no expiration on this letter.
Right. The notice that goes to the newspaper should either have the rates published, or they should refer to a list of rates that's available in the auditor's office.
Yes.
This letter is fine. I don't see.
This one is just basically notification.
Yeah, that's correct.
But the only thing that we do need, which I showed you there earlier, is this is the one from Shawswick. When we did Shawswick, July 30th, 2025. We would have to change that date there to current, because everything else on this, nothing is actually changed. And then the other thing that we would have to do is, which you also have to, if memory serves me right, on the bottom of that paper, on those meeting dates, is go ahead and set those meeting dates in the notification. And the ones that I was talking to you about, and actually some of the council, was July 14th and 21st. If those meeting dates are not held, we can cancel.
Yeah,
But,
Again, I'm not sure, I don't think that you have to have two.
okay,
I don't think you have to have two.
well, if we go ahead and advertise them, we can always cancel the second one.
That's right, no, or you're saying advertise,
This is,
this is just gonna be go through the mail.
this is letter of intent to all participants of the lit.
Yeah, the one that goes in the newspaper is a hearing, and we should have rates that we're proposing to do so that the public can comment on
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
not just the union.
That's the part we don't have yet.
Right, we have to have that information. We have no way to reproduce it ourselves right now. So I don't know how they're gonna figure out how to do it. Martha worked with Jeff on calculating what our current distribution looks like in terms of percentages that each unit is receiving. And Budget Director said, well, it's affected by so many other things in the statute, and that those don't actually reflect the rates that were originally adopted. So she said, you can't do it that way.
But Rick says he can. Rick says he can. Rick Hall.
No, that's Anna Colley, the state budget director. I've talked to her twice. She says our original order, she said, is probably it is definitely in storage somewhere off-site that we can't get to it to tell you what those rates were. And they cannot produce what our rates were.
But you're saying Rick Hall
And
of
Rick Hall
Barnstorm
says, what we've got to do is re-adopt it.
Okay.
And basically start
Start
over, you know.
and have
But
figures
we
then.
we don't have the information that, what the distribution is, so I don't know how they're gonna come up with that. I've given them, they know who we're working with at Baker Tilly, to confer with them if they need to come up with information. But I've got the form of a resolution, I've got the form of the notice to go in the newspaper. All I need is the data that goes in and what the rates are. So, and we don't have the ability, nor does the Department of Local Government Finance have the ability to give us that information, to create that.
So Rick is saying he can create that.
Well, he's saying we'll solve it. He says we'll help you. We'll give you we'll come up with something. So I haven't heard back from him. That was the last week. I can't remember.
Well, there's one other that's been helping us too, and he went, Jeff, the commissioner, McKnight, he went through and figured all those percentages. Have you seen
Yes,
that?
he did. But those
Jeff is down.
percentages aren't what they were. They are affected by other things that affected the lit.
It's
It
not
had
that
to do
simple.
with property valuation. Because those change every year. The amounts that they get, there's no, you can't look at it and know what effect it does. Mark and I.
Okay, and for the ones that, just for question, John, is what we're actually looking at doing right now is on solid waste, removing solid waste. And use that money towards the ambulance contract.
And isn't that the kicker? I mean, trying to find out if you're gonna get all that money or if you have to redistribute it. to
Well, we
the
went
Well, I
through,
think we can solve that problem by re-adopting.
Okay.
that can be done. I know when we started out before is leaving solid waste in the lit
Yeah.
and then just take the 500, which we did. That is not good. That's a loan. That is not, and solid waste has more than enough money in their reserve to survive 2 years, because the lit tax will have to be redone in 28, 29, effective 29, which will become the new lit. So, I mean, all they have to do is, and there's more than enough money there, survive 2 years. And there's more than enough. And that's the reason, I don't want to clarify that, because we created a monster last time when we did this, because we didn't clarify it. The townships come in hot, fire departments come in hot, schools come in hot, Bedford City come in hot, all across the board. But it wasn't clear on what we were doing. And I want to make that, and I can't speak for the entire council, but very clear that right now, the only one that we're looking at is solid waste,
As far as decreases.
as far as decrease. Yeah, that's it. And which I said on that board, I know what's in their reserve. They can survive 2 years.
So if you wanna advertise these dates, we need something from Rick sooner rather than later.
Right. He's aware of the deadlines.
Good.
So we're not, there's a possibility we may have to have a special meeting.
Oh, Rick loves these special
He
meetings.
doesn't.
So, there's no way that we can create that information ourselves. And,
I'm glad to know somebody can.
yeah, well,
Okay.
if anybody.
If Rick says he can fix it, he can fix
Yeah.
it. I've worked with Rick
Yeah.
many years.
Okay, so, and I talked to Ted earlier on that, is Martha dating this, tomorrow's date? And then I still think, go ahead and change these other 2 dates on the bottom,
Yeah, they're still subject to change.
and still subject to change, but we
Go
can,
ahead, get the council's concurrence on setting some dates, and then we may have to change the text
what
of this depending.
I
on
was
what's
looking
going on.
at due to conflicts, with some of the council was July 14th and the 21st.
July 14th is Fair Week, so
Okay.
you'll be down at least one.
Okay. You guys got a problem with the 14th or the 21st? Larry?
That's
I'm
two.
good.
That's fine, 4:30.
3, 4, 5, 6. 6 are good. Okay. Martha? 4:30. What we're gonna do on the bottom part of that letter, Martha, have you got that? Send that down to
I
Martha.
was plugging dates with my phone.
Send
Got
that
it?
to Martha.
I think she's
I've got
got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Rick, I think she has it.
She got it. Okay, Martha, on the top of this, this is what, we're talking about, where the July 30th, 2025 is, change that to tomorrow's date.
Got it.
And then down on, next to the bottom where it's got the meeting dates of August 11th and August 21st, change that to, if the council's good, July 14th and July 21st
Got it.
of this year.
Already done.
And you guys are good with that? Send them a letter.
It will go out tomorrow.
It will go out tomorrow. I don't know that there's reason to do a vote on that, on sending this out. I don't think,
I would suggest a motion of the council authorizing the notice to be given with whatever changes we need to make for those 2 days.
okay.
Have we done that?
Okay, well, what?
Not with the changes.
I thought we had a motion last month to send
Send
out
it.
a letter to entities. We can go ahead and do it again,
Okay,
but
we're
I
gonna
do
do it
think
again.
there's.
I got, first from Dustin, second from Janie. Is there in, and keep in mind on these dates, they could very well be canceled, moved back or whatever, but this is a goal right now. Okay, I got a first and second. Any questions on this? And you said this can be emailed out, correct? Or do you want it mailed out, when the envelopes are ready?
I would do both. I mean,
Okay.
both
Martha?
Anna Colley and Baker Tilly sent it by email.
Okay, so you got it ready to go. Michelle's got it ready to go. Okay. So I got a first and second. Any further questions? Okay, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Martha, that passed, 7-0. And that can go out tomorrow, Ted. Okay, and then lit, that's, do you have anything else on the lit?
Nope.
Anybody else got anything on the lit? Amy?
No.
Okay, that's the bottom of my list, then I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Janie's first,
Second.
Larry second. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.
And they want to post that.
And those are gonna get changed.
95